Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Blu-ray Cinema. This is Drew here, talking about movies of today, yesterday, tomorrow, and so forth. Hi, how's everybody doing out there? How are my subscribers? Hope you're good. And please, if you like what you see and want more videos like this, please, you know what to do. Hit that button and all that good stuff. I don't have to say that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm talking about what I talked about yesterday. And not yesterday. I mean the last video, where I was gonna say it's gonna be the worst. Let me fix my camera a little bit. Yeah. Whoop. Okay, here we go. So, you saw the Blu-rays of the best of horror-themed movies for Halloween or to watch on Halloween. This is the worst. The worst 5 because I'm not gonna go through a lot of them. This will just be nonsense. Or you. But I'll try to do in detail as much as possible. So I'll have no videos to show, no clips to show, because I don't know how to do that without getting the copyright. So I don't know. And these are, worst horror films to watch on Halloween, or they call it films to avoid. I'll try to create a thumbnail. If I can't, then I'll just do my normal ones. So if I'm looking down, because I'm reading off my list here. Sorry, I don't sound like I normally do. I'm kind of a bit under the weather, but I'm not sick. I don't have anything. It's just my sinuses and my allergies. That's all it is. So hope you can all see me. Yeah, I gotta fix the camera a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's what, better. Okay. No, let's hydrate. Okay. I'll try to do this in detail as much as possible. Okay. Number 1 or number 2, it's a tie. It's Psycho 3 and Psycho 4, the beginning. And I'll tell you why. Psycho 3 starts well. It's got great casting. It's got Anthony Perkins as always, playing Norman Bates as he always does. And it's got Jeff Fahey as playing a real scumbag. But here's the thing. In the beginning, it goes great. And it takes place after part 2 a little bit, but not sure where it falls in that spectrum. But it just feels flat. It's not the same as strong as 2, where Psycho 2 is the perfect sequel to original Psycho, where it made sense. Part 3 is like got a couple plots going on and plot wise, and Anthony Perkins does a great job. But other than that, Psycho 3 just falls flat. Psycho 3 came out in, let's see. I know Psycho 2 was in 82. Yeah, Psycho 3 is 83. A year after Psycho 2 came out. Alright. Or 84, I'm not sure. Or it could be... No, I think it may have been 86. I'm not sure totally. If I got the date wrong, please let me know in the comments below. As I said, everybody's entitled to 2 things I said always in a lot of my videos. Number 1, everybody's opinion is different. You're gonna like what you like, or you're not gonna like what you don't really like. And 2, forget the other one now. So I'm sorry about that. And also, alright, Psycho 4 came out in 1990. It was a Showtime movie made for TV. And it's, Norman Bates' backstory. It's got, Henry Thomas from E.T. It's got Olivia Hussey from Romeo and Juliet, Black Christmas, all that good stuff, But here's the thing, and then it's got Anthony Perkins in, on the radio telling his backstory that he reported to the radio host that he is a serial killer because he has a girlfriend now. He's living in their house and he doesn't want to be. Here's the synopsis of Psycho 4. Norman Bates calls the radio talk show, talks about all the crimes he did in his past. he doesn't want to get married to his current girlfriend because he's afraid that if they had a kid, would end up like him. Number one. Number two, you got radio talk show host that's legendary actress CCH Pounder, which she's great in the film. As radio host, is trying to understand Norman and I forget who plays the doctor on who's helping the radio host. But anywho, and he talks about a bad story, and then you got like Norman Bates' mother in the past, which was about 1940 or 1950s. Not sure when, because it really don't say, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, Will Hussey playing his mother, and you got young Norman Bates as a teenager, probably early college student or after college, running the hotel because his mom does or doesn't, but he mostly runs it by adult Henry Thomas. Okay. Always hydrate. Always hydrate. Remember that, folks. Always hydrate. So, I mean, none of it's in black and white, which is a good thing, but it's like the backstory goes way too long. It's made for TV, made for Showtime or whatever. But, two stories going on, but it's the same. So you saw like Norman's backstory, what he went through, what his mom put him through, why he killed his mom, which is important, but still the story goes on forever, and what she did to young Norman that made him the way he was. Okay, you find out the way he is, and why when you find Virgin Cycle, that's the way, how he wound up that way. Okay, that's neat and all, but still, the movie goes too on for more dramatic and not horror, and it's like it gets kind of boring and dull after a while. It gets not stupid, but it's just not a good Psycho film. I mean, I'm glad years later in the 2010s, what year it was, he came up with Bates Motel, which is better, which I never watched a TV show, but people say that's a better telling of, young Norman Bates story than Psycho 4. And even though I hadn't seen the show, I probably would agree with that. Because Psycho 4 beginning is like down here, way, way down low. And Bates Motel, the TV show is way, way high. So, I haven't seen Bates Motel, but that's alright. So that's why those are number one, because, or 5, or whatever you want to do it. This can go in any order, it doesn't care. I said not in any order. You can, these are done to avoid it, because once you watch these, you say, why did I watch this shit on Halloween? Or Halloween week, or you watch them, or you watch a horror movie every 7 days for Halloween. That's what I try to do. But that's me. Excuse me. Second one on my list is one that came out about 2 years ago. And I watched 20 minutes of it, and I knew this film fucking sucked. And it's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I gave it a chance. I gave the fucker a chance. And believe me, it sucked like shit. It's one of the worst horror films I ever seen in my life. I'm not going to watch the Bambi universe, or the Pooh universe, or whatever they call freaking thing, or the Popeye universe. I don't watch none of that stuff, because I know it's going to be the same stupid shit. Because once they put this stuff in, public domain, it's like making this shit into horror films. No, I don't care anymore. I thought Winnie the Pooh would be interesting, but now they got Piglet in it, and Bambi, and Peter Pan, and Popeye, and Steamboat Willie, which is the first incarnation of Mickey Mouse. It's like, that's all crap. Nobody wants to watch that crap. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's like, Christopher Robin goes back to woods with his fiance and says, I remember this going there as a kid, and I didn't forget you guys. I just grew up and I had to live my life. And then Pooh just comes quiet along and kills Christopher Robin's fiance and chases Christopher Robin. And I go, okay, this is something. But then it gets stupid. It just becomes nonsense. You're Winnie Pooh just killing anybody, and he doesn't say anything when the Pooh. He doesn't go, oh bother, oh I my tongue is wrong for honey. He says none of that shit. It is boring, sad, pathetic, dull, stupid, makes no sense. It's not like a horror film where it's nonsensical or so bad it's good, where it's nonsensical but it's meant to be that way. This is nonsensical for being like bullshit. And that's a movie not to be worth watching at all. You'll sit there and go like, huh. Usually when movies are very bad and they know they're bad, or if they don't know they're bad, you go, what does this mean? What's going on? Whatever. Ready to pull it down, honey. Yeah, it's same rehash crap. You know exactly what's going on. You're not saying what. Yeah, the question you ask is, why was this made? Which is a good question. Number two is like, this is bullshit. And it is. It's not fun. It's just pure trash, and not the good kind of trash. So that's why that's in my worst list. This one, Motel Hell, number 3, or whatever order you want to put it in. Motel Hell. In the early 80s, you had a lot of shit like Motel Hell, where you have like people kill people and made them into like food or all that kind of shit, and and people don't know. This story is like Rory Calhoun, and I forget who his name, and then they're grow things on the farm, and they run this restaurant, and they say our meats are fresh and da. Okay, and then they kill teenagers and people who are not gonna be missed, and this teenager finds like people's heads in their garden, and they all this other shit. But the film is dull, boring, pathetic. It's not like other films that came before or after it, like this material, but it's not good. It's not. I'm not saying this is scary, okay? I'm not saying there's jump scares. There's not much jump scares, which is good for 1981 or 1980. But still, I mean, the performances are okay, but the film as a whole just drags. It's not good, and that's why it's my worst list. A lot of people will put that on their worst list. Why? Because anybody that bought this film just hates it. It's not great. It's not good at all. It's like you've seen this stuff before and better stuff. I mean, I'd rather watch Texas Chainsaw, the original movie, again than Motel Hell any day of the week. Hell, I'd rather watch Society than this shit. And Society's okay. Society is you like it, or I'll talk about Society another day, because I have a love-hate relationship with that movie, but I don't. But I don't. This movie over, I'm kind of like, but I don't hate Society. Motel Hell, I hate. I just don't care for it. If you do, that's up to you. If you like any of these films I'm mentioning, that's up to you. That's up to your opinion, guys, or my subscribers. But that's up to your opinion. These are my opinion, and I'll either never watch again, or if I see them, it's like, or if I haven't seen it in a long time, I'll give it another chance. Because I haven't seen it in like 10, 15 years or 5 years. Don't know how I feel. But these films, I'm going to feel the same about anyway. I'm not going to have them on a shelf. I'm not going to have them in my Blu-ray 4K collection. I'm not going to none of these. Okay, these two again don't count as one. I know one I'm probably going to get. I don't want to lose you guys, but Alright, this one is, I don't know if count 2 is one, but Texas Chainsaw, The Next Generation, and or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 remake. And I know I'm going to get booed or whatever, and people are going to hate me for hating on the remake. Here's the thing. I don't hate on the remake, okay? The thing about is the remake is not the classic. It's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's not Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. You know, I don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 as much, but still, I appreciate that one as a sequel. Okay. Let's go with The Next Generation, first of all. I need a drink. I need to drink my coffee. I drink iced coffee. Dunkin' iced coffee. Just to let you know. Next Generation, even though it came out a couple years after Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger were stars, which is true, and it's got wrestler Steve Austin's first wife in it, which is or maybe no, second wife in it, which is Deborah Michael in that movie somewhere. But the film as a whole is not good. It makes no sense. I appreciate, Matthew McConaughey, was an up-and-coming actor. I mean, he just did Dazed and Confused and a couple other things, but he wasn't it. And that kind of was his Dazed and Confused, was a big break, but then he does The Next Generation. It's like, I think after that, he chose different films, but Next Generation is just nothing. Nothing happens. It's not scary. Nothing goes on. It's an anomaly, but it's not a good anomaly. And a good anomaly, for example, is Hardcore Henry, is a horror film, which is a horror film out there, which is kind of like an art horror film called Devil's Story. I'm trying to think. My Memento is kind of like an anomaly kind of film, you know what I mean? Where films are out there that people find and like a wow. Right, while Force is an anomaly where people like a wow, and this is really good. I didn't expect that to be good, you know what I mean? But The Next Generation is like one of the worst sequel horror films I've ever seen in my life. I don't ever want to see again. Because it came out, and it came out on video, and I rented it. Okay, Texas Chainsaw, Matthew McConaughey, they do something to start get the career going after they did, one of their film, their part ensemble, whatever, Renee Zellweger, I think that may be her first film. I don't know what she did before it. And then the film, you watch it, nothing happens. It goes do. It's a lot of talk. You see a couple teenagers meet these people, blah blah blah. Nothing happens. It's like 90 minutes of boring, and that's what you're gonna get. And so that's why it's one of the worst. It's not worth watching. It's just you're gonna be dull and bored with it. Despite, I know Shout Factory released that a couple years ago, but still, you don't watch it like, why did I buy this? Why did I watch this? If you guys want to see what kind of film it is, I mean, I would stream it first on something, or about from somebody who bought the fucking thing. And then you go like, yeah, this ain't Texas Chainsaw to me. And to me, it wasn't. As for a remake goes, I appreciate what the remake trying to do, but when you see Jessica Biel, I think, isn't it? Or Alba, one or the other, walk around scantily clad, and the other actors, which I picked the other actors in it, basically nobody had anything to do. And that's why I don't like the remake. I mean, I've seen it before, I don't need to see it again. But, production value of the remake, the 2003 remake, especially when Arrow put out. Okay, I understand the production value, what nice, what a lot better than 74, but I like 74 was all grainy and and dirty and all that shit. Okay, the remake's not gonna show all that stuff from 74. I get that, but when it's just when you're just have great production value, have great actors, but you have some from Scanway Craig just running in the woods, then to me, no thanks. I've seen it. I'm bored, and that's why it's there. Maybe I'll take that as that shouldn't be in the worst list, but for me, I just don't care. Even in the beginning, I just don't care. I expect R.E. Emery as playing the bad guy, as playing part of the family. I get that, but that isn't like the top worst sequel. So you know what? This minus the remake that I'm talking about, and the Next Generation is the worst. So forget. That's what I say, and or. All right. So forgive me about the remake part, but Next Generation. No. It's the worst sequel I've ever seen. And yeah, I'm not done. Now, this can go anywhere too, but I don't know if people are going to hate this or not, or people don't like this one here, and I don't, because it's one of the worst Halloween sequels I've ever seen in my life. And I talk about 3 because I have appreciation for 3. Michael Myers is in that film, and I love 3. Even though the music gets repetitious and it's silly, but I love the silliness of it. So I love part 3. So 3 isn't even considered. 3 is by itself as a Halloween film, so that's not one of the worst for me. That's one of the better Halloween sequels out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I can put up with, and that's fine. When we get to later ones, Sets is confusing. I never seen the extended cut, so I don't know the other cut of Sets. H2O, I can forgive that one. I don't have it, I can forgive it, because they tried. H2O, they tried. So I can give that one a pass. I haven't seen it in a while, but at least I can give, that one a pass. Plus, you have mother and daughter. You have Janet Leigh and Jamie Curtis in it. You have LL Cool J in it playing a better role. So that one I can forgive. And that one gets a pass. So I'm not hanging on 7. I'm not hanging on 5. I'm not hanging on 4. Okay? Just to get that out there. What? The one I don't like, and that's the least, is Halloween Resurrection. Because it's stupid. It was like, I'm not saying they phoned it in, okay? But you can tell they didn't. But when you have, Busta Rhymes just keep, okay, that's the part I like is Busta Rhymes kicking the shit of Michael Myers. That is fun. But let's go to the house. Let's do found footage. Let's do found footage with a camera. Let's do camera and see, go in the house and be like a ghost hunter thing. Or let's see what's haunted house. See Michael Myers used to be in. Blah blah blah. Okay, you can do stuff that way, but do it smart. Do it a little more fun, a little more oomph. Where's the oomph? Not there. Your best thing is Busta Rhymes doing like martial arts kits on Michael Myers, and that's all you got, then you failed as a Halloween film. You failed. No one Down Presence was no longer with us, which sucked. Number 2, the plot-wise, corny as fuck. Pure utter nonsense. 3 wasn't very good. And 4, the Michael Myers do next to nothing. Busta Rhymes was the most character who had most good character who had stuff to do. Everybody else was just like nothing. Jamie Lee Curtis was in it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that was it. I mean, I'm not going to give A for effort. Excuse me. Because they didn't even fucking try. They didn't even try. And on that note, yeah, those are worse. I mean, there's honorable mentions I can mention, like, I mean, I don't want to mention film where they put horror movie characters in space because that's a whole nother subject to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about that now. The whole nother subject. I'm leaving the Jason in space alone, but the other ones, yeah, those I'm not going to leave alone. But what you got? Like, what can be the other mentions? The Rage Carry 2 is one of the worst. And I talked about The Rage Carry 2 already on my channel, where that film fucking sucks ass. They tried to, do younger version of Carrie, or than Younger and Sister Space. I get it, a sequel to original Carrie, but it fails big time. It's ass. It's just that's one of my honorable mentions as one of the worst. Rage Carry 2. There are a few others. I would have to look back at the others, but all the other films are the worst. But those are my 5 worst. No, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, is excluded from that list. Now, I mean, I don't care for it, but that's excluded. All the other ones are there. So I know some of you will agree with that list, some of you won't. Some will say, okay, there's other things worse than that, and yes, there are. But I'm gonna go through for every horror film that's the worst. Because there's a lot more, probably. Because there are ones up here, there are ones way low in totem pole that are not even fit for human consumption, and that could be like all our types of movies. But it's not that I have a high standard for horror films, because I don't. But I do have a standard, which is, A, here are my standards. And this should be for everyone. Should do this, but I know a lot of people don't, because you like a film, but I don't go by these standards too, but sometimes I do. Because you can call me a movie critic, you can call me a movie reviewer, you can call me, Mr. Blu-ray, or you can call me Mr. YouTube, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is Blu-ray cinema, but this is for love of film. But I don't like films that insult my intelligence, or pieces of shit, or wasting my 2 fucking hours. If you're so bad it's good, I can forgive. I can give that a pass. I say, okay, this is a movie. I say, okay. No issue with you. I like you. By Devil's Story, I can give a pass. I may not understand it. I kind of have like a half and half on that, but that's a movie. Somebody may want to make a more artsy horror film in another country. I get it. I may not like it as much as other people, but I get it. And I'd recommend we stream Devil's Story. You can stream on Tubi, and it's just out there. I mean, you watch it, because I'll discuss that movie another time, about Devil's Story. I'll talk about that in the future videos. I don't know when, but I will. But I do have certain criteria. I sometimes do, sometimes don't. But there's a film. Here it goes. Does the film entertain me? The film make me laugh, cry. Does it make me feel something? See, it doesn't have to be smart, but it doesn't have to be, dumb to me. It doesn't have to, talk me down like I'm a fucking 2-year-old. Okay, I'm not a 2-year-old. I'm an adult. I'm be taught to as such. But also, if it can make me feel like I'm a kid, then I'm okay with that too. But don't treat me like I'm stupid. That's the worst kind of horror film, or any film. Makes you feel like you're fucking stupid, or talks dumb to you, and it's not fun, then that's not a movie. That is just pure somebody's idea of bullshit. And I don't like that too, when the film is bullshit, and it's bullshitting you, and not in a good way, and just insults you and disgusts you in every single way. Then I say, fuck that, man. I don't need it in my life. Also, what was it? How's it entertaining to me? And do I like it, and most of all, do I love it? Do I still feel about today like I did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Answers yes, or all those questions are answered, or some of them are. And the one most of all is, do I still enjoy it after all this time? Do I still want to watch it again? Or do I watch it like in a year or so from now, or 6 months from now? If the answer is yes to any of them, or all of them, then that's a good sign. Or if I haven't seen it in years and I want to rewatch something, because I may like it now than I felt like then I had a different feeling 10 years ago, or 5 months ago, or 200 or 2,000 eons ago. If I feel differently today than I did back then that's a good thing. Or if I still feel the same, then my mind about it's not going to change. Wait, these films I mentioned right here, with the exception of the remake, which I don't care for, but still, it's not a bad film. But I feel the same, like those films I mentioned, then my mind about is not going to change. I mean, I just rewatched Ginger Snaps, and I kind of like have this now. I was up like this, then a couple years ago I was down like this, and now I'm kind of like in the middle. So, would I get that in 4K Blu-ray? Maybe. But that's up to me, my decision. But that's it for this video. I'll try and make a thumbnail like I did for my last video. If not, then, the thumbnail is going to be just the ones I had done for my last couple, I don't know how many videos I did, whatever. But, however, in a couple weeks has a great Halloween. Hope you enjoyed the horror films you're watching this month. Hope you see some good ones. Hope you go to theater. If you do, go see some great ones, or some newer ones, or if you stream or had some old ones at home and watch them in years, enjoy those. And other than that, I'll see you on the next. And if you want to let me know how you feel about how the horror films and which ones you watch for Halloween, and let me know in the comments below. And you know what to do. And this is Blu-ray Cinema saying bye, and have a nice day.